hungry.
Gotcha. Turning on the smart cooker hood.
From cooker hoods that turn on at the command of your voice to gas hobs that can be turned off remotely.
Let's watch a movie.
And light settings that adjust according to the mood you're in. Smart homes are in demand across Singapore.
Many of our customers are first-time homeowners in their 20s, and this generation of people, they grew up with smartphones, they grew up with the internet, they're very familiar and they are very used to having technology benefit their lives.
It's estimated that there will be some 50 billion IoT devices in use globally by 2030. In Asia alone, the market is expected to be worth $120 billion by that time, nearly 30% of global market share. But experts say there is a security gap when it comes to consumer IoT devices. There was a nearly 90% increase in IoT malware in 2022.
The smart home devices usually designed to be low cost and easily user-friendly. So unfortunately, cybersecurity is not one of the key strengths of some of these devices. So attackers sometimes will make use of vulnerabilities in these systems to conduct their cyber attacks. They can also make use of weak passwords or wrong configurations in the settings to access the system, to breach the system, and to take over the system.
The moment you have connected devices, you are actually prone to cyber attacks, right? So other former IT industries are really governed and they have more strict standards for safety and control. Consumer IoT, typically we don't really have a very strict policy there. Yes, we have a few methods and standards coming up, but they're still not there yet.
We actually found the Wi-Fi password. It's a very simple password.
Engineers at the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore showed us how easily home cameras can be hacked by compromising Wi-Fi routers. It only takes a few minutes to find out the router's password by running through a list of stolen, commonly used passwords. From there, it's just a few clicks before they can access the camera connected to the same Wi-Fi network. They describe it as a tedious but not difficult process for the motivated hacker, who can then make use of the compromised camera to spy on homeowners and demand ransom. Increasingly, hackers are also making use of soft targets, like home IoT devices, as a gateway to stage larger attacks. A botnet is a group of devices that have been infected by malware. Using strength in numbers, they can be used to launch attacks on organizations or even critical infrastructure to disrupt operations or services.
So for instance, let's say if you have IoT devices that are typically used to control, let's say smart sockets, smart lights, right, that has certain capability to turn on or turn off the load, right, they can be actually used to create a disaster effect. For instance, let's say if you've got homes that have got 100,000 of these smart sockets that are actually controlling certain loads, maybe like a kilowatt of load, right, then you can instantly are able to actually increase the load capacity or decrease the load capacity that actually impacts the smart grid. So you can bring the entire smart grid just by actually attacking these devices in a massive scale.
The computing power of hacked devices can also be used to mine cryptocurrencies, jacking up electricity bills for unsuspecting homeowners. The biggest telltale sign your home devices have been breached is a slower network.
So, for example, if you are using your home network and you find that your devices are being locked out of your Wi-Fi systems for no apparent reason, then there is something might be wrong. If you're using your IP cameras at home and you find that the IP cameras are being repositioned, or the angles that they're pointing to are being readjusted without your deliberate command, it might also indicate that something is wrong.
So what should you do to keep your smart home safe? Ensure you have a strong password and update it frequently. Regularly update software to the latest versions. And if you suspect that you've been breached, reset all devices and credentials. Consumers can also make use of the Cybersecurity Agency's labeling scheme to buy products that have been screened for security levels. At this showroom, sales have increased 30% since.
When customers buy products with the CLS label, right, they know that they are basically protecting themselves in a certain way from being hacked. I need to say that if a hacker is determined, right, they can really still hack you. But why do you want to make their life easy for them, right? So when you buy this kind of products with CLS labels, you actually make it harder for people to hack you.
It's estimated that boosting security would raise the cost of manufactured items by up to 10%.
If the users don't drive it, the companies will not do it. So at the end of the day, right, the customers and the users should actually ask for a higher form of security control. But of course, it comes as a cost. So if the users are willing to pay for it, to make sure that they are able to protect or at least safeguard the interest of not just their own, let's say, houses, homes, and personal lives, but also to safeguard the interest of the entire country, right? I think that's where we need to actually step into the right direction here.